Greetings everyone, Agion here, another Computers Who Replay. Spawn on the south side as the Brits. We have Orin08. Spawn as ally as the USF. We have SHelsonne. SHelsonne? Sonne. Spawn on the north side as the dual OKW. We have GeneralDisaster and juvi.
On the line.
Great way to start off a replay. We do have two doctrinal lock-ins. We do have the Special Operations Doctrine and the Heavy Cav. The red player going for Volksgrenadier. No Kugelwagen just yet. And the magenta player, just Volksgrenadier. No Kugelwagen. UKF player has immediately gone for a Vickers. And the
team ready for orders.
That seems actually unusual. We see immediate mortar team by the US player. The reason why I say that's unusual because the mortar is only good versus I would say against austere. Against OKW, they're way too mobile for that to be useful at this stage of the game. I can see a mortar being added to the roster somebody would like after a second rifleman, but at this point, I disagree with it. Maybe this guy will prove me wrong. I'm always open to other ideas and to be proven wrong. Great position here for the rifleman. Only one window. That is not a window. I believe that's actually a doorway there. Over here, we have the rear echelon engaging at close range against the Volksgrenadier. There may actually be no windows firing at that direction. If he stays just right, I don't think this window can fire. I hear the mortar team actually, now thinking about it, on this map in particular, and seeing how much the buildings the OKW player is using, that mortar team's actually a relatively good item at this point. So, I stand corrected. All I had to cover here, and the Volksgrenadier being quite nice and stationary, though honestly, the US mortar is just, it's pretty inadequate, to say the least.
What's your distance? Area secured. A capture point is under attack.
Rifleman here, they're getting caught out a little bit on the open ground. This one's quite wounded. The second rifleman is very important. Goes out and Incendiary Grenade. And he actually stays there for the explosion. This rifleman squad needs to fall on back. If I go back up here, we do see he has 3 infantry section. Vickers is still inside this building. A relatively safe position. It guarantees securing of that fuel points.
An engineer unit is ready for action.
At this point, people are more concerned about the fuel points rather than the VPs. The VPs are sort of secondary. Though capturing the northern VP, skirting the edges could draw units forward to be fired upon outside the radius of the MG, but the radius of the MG covers quite a bit, so never mind, that is a great spot for the MG. Stone Pioneers here rushing on forward. Mortar team hasn't actually got any kills just yet, just some damaging actions. Red here pushing on forward. Intersection is here. This he's fighting, retreating back is the only option. Either immediately stopping and shooting the Stone Pioneers or just full on retreat. Running away, he's just going to take damage and losses.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Both OKW players are sort of transitioned to the center part of the map. This area is relatively firmly held in the magenta OKW player, but only one squad here, and now it's no longer in his favor. The lieutenant could immediately push forward towards the fuel point. The mortar team is pushing on forward as well. Good heavy cover to set up behind. The US players pushing on forward. That Stone Pioneer will not last very long with all these rifles. And we got a very far forward assembly, which means more things, forward reinforcements, as well as ability that people forget as well. It can call in coordinated fire itself. You don't need actually a intersection upgraded with the artillery flares in order to utilize the coordinated fire. Right from here, getting a little bit overwhelmed. Always like cover, and there's multiple squads being head cover. He's going to need to make a soft retreat. He needs an ambulance. He does have an ambulance. Over here, we got pretty good flank. Regular frag is going out. That was not artillery marker. So frag has been researched by the UKF player, but he's low in munitions, upgrading all the squads, and now also utilizing frags. This intersection just needs to keep on moving. Yes, he's now outside the radius, east of flank. There's also a line of sight block here. He's trying to reposition or engage it, but could get overwhelmed. Resets on up, frag grenade throw. He's very stacked on up. Light cover's not going to do all too much. Oh, does not get the crew. Over the US players pushing forward. Volkswagen here. Storm Pioneers also counter-attacking. These US squads are very low in health. He may need to fall back. If he has to be captured, I would say fall back from that. That rifle squad fall back. If you can just even save one extra man, it really does help in preserving your manpower pool. Scrolling here is quite wounded right now. Could soft retreat towards his HQ. I would definitely like to see a 6-pounder up here. He has an MG. He has the forward assembly. One light vehicle can easily just walk on in or roll on in and demolish all this progress over here. Mortar team may be under siege. We do have the rear echelon squad here, and they will distract the squad long enough for the riflemen to engage the Storm Pioneer. Storm Pioneers force them back. The mortar team is nice and close, so should be able to get some good accurate hits on these units if they were to stand still for long enough. But he's not. He's going to immediately rush it down. This rifleman squad should just stand and fought. It's just way outnumbered. Don't see frag research for the US player.
New unit ready and on the field.
Stewart out on the field. We do have Rangers out on the field as well. Ooh, and pushes his rifleman forward. The Vickenwerfer, that's a very wounded building. The Vickenwerfer is very far away, so Stewart should be able to place that MG. Though he needs to make sure he hits towards the side. He's hitting an open part of the building, so he's actually generally missing the building, not getting good damage onto it. Something like. Alright, for some reason I thought my microphone was in frame. It is not. Cutoff point has been cut off. Mortar does get a nice hit there. Was it the first kill for the Mortar team? No, that didn't even count as a kill for the Mortar team. That's clearly obliterated by a mortar. Sometimes explosions are not exactly great at registering kills.
Stand to, you tossers!
This is another cutoff point. He can be captured. Right now, the OKW player is just spreading out every single angle, being like an AI, which can be quite annoying to play against. Not as actually an insult, because the AI just known to able to just. Sometimes I feel like they be everywhere at once. It'd be so annoying to deal with. Ranger squad here. Decapturing the central VP. You have the rifleman over here. The MG team looks like his withdrawal is all the way back over here. The Sheer Panzer Porter has been upgraded as well. The Kenworth is also here to support, so the Steward has a very small window or area of operations before receiving a hard counter. And there goes the squad wipe. One Volksgrenadier went down. Like now engaging the forward assembly or the Vickers need to redeploy. Frag grenade is thrown on out, gets some good damage there.
Your forces have constructed a company command post.
Only one window here, so it's
Be
not a
advised,
great window
the
for
building
the right
ready
wing.
for deployment.
We have a 251/17 flat cap track or slash contact. Frag grenade is thrown into that building. Threw it too far into those. You need to make sure you hit the windows in order to get a good model hit. The Rangers, they're sitting quite a bit of damage there, and will call back now. If you have enabled unit oculation or occlusion, whatever it's called, it helps you see these models inside the building, which is great for doing work to kill the frags. Sometimes I was wondering if exploding barrels actually do any damage. Apparently not in that case. Vickers is not in the building anymore, which is a good idea because it seems like a couple good hits can collapse the building. Sheriff's quarters hitting the lieutenant. Do have a squad of Oaksots now out in Magenta. Magenta has not selected the doctrine. Red, if he gets Oaksots squad, he can actually get IR STGs. You have a Sheriff Panzer quarters now moving on forward. He's going to try to push it far enough to cover this VP, I believe. Frag Gamma Bomb that could wipe out the... Nope, it doesn't wipe out the Troop Pioneers. This Assault Officer needs to fall back. He could stand to have some medics at that forward HQ. He really needs medics. This Assault Officer needs to fall back. He's so wounded. He's not getting risk of being wiped. He's actually going to get wiped. He's still receiving fire. The Assault Officer still receiving fire. Doesn't get wiped there. Again, we're set up inside this building here. Ooh, I dropped some frames. Sorry about that.
An anti-tank gun has taken the field.
Sheriff Panzer quarters setting on up. We'll cover the VP quite nicely. Able to self-spawn. We do have a Valentine now out. The Valentine has the opportunity to do some good work here, but the opportunity is quite diminished. Flare is being cast in by the red OPW ability. Frag grenade is thrown, but it's unsuccessful. And now the Valentine will push on forward. We'll get a good hit there. Storm Pioneers have fallen back. He spots the Sheriff Panzer quarters and needs some machine gun hits or force fire to the ground. Force fire to the ground. No, he rolls a miss.
Ready for action.
And gets actually I think the smoke actually faded away there. The Sheriff Panzer quarters almost set on up, and he will have rear armor exposed, so he will get some bounces and some hits there. He's fall back there. Hit shot will take it out. The Sheriff Panzer quarters being very important. No artillery flare. Artillery marker on top of the Sheriff Panzer quarters. He really lost a Valentine. We really shouldn't, but you really want to get the death of that infrared half track. But overall, not worth it. He actually invested. He had quite a bit of fuel. I'm sort of surprised he didn't just go for Centaur or Cromwell at that point. He had plenty of fuel. And perhaps just wait a moment, he was actually able to get out something much more heavier. Stewart is still alive. We do have Osasan on the build for red. Magenta has lost another Volksgrenadier, but he will have another Osasan.
Anti-tank gun ready to do some damage.
And looks like he's receiving quite a bit of fire now.
Armor ready.
There is a 50 cal on the field, and it's going to do some good work. You can go inside this building, but it's a little bit weak. All of these buildings are quite weak. His best one's right there, and that's not a great building either. Or you can just keep it out in the relatively open. Right here seems like a good spot. Good coverage across the entire front area. Vickers is still alive, far away from being hit by the shoot hand quarter, and does go ahead and get hit. Fragment and Lieutenant here, where you could potentially see a bundle grenade. And not full heavy covering, those walls are apart by the old Saucer.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
There goes the 50 cal. He could potentially try getting it, but the Steward is here. No, he's trying to go for the mortar, just trying to get through it.
Points remaining.
He might be able to get it.
Armor ready.
Nope, only gets through the models. Didn't want to risk losing his squad. He can still actually lose his squad, but unlikely. Ranger squad now pushing his way forward. There are two mechanic workers here. So officer quite really good. Could have seen. Will we see a cooked frag? No, we will not see a cooked frag. Frag grenade is thrown on out.
A capture point is being overrun.
And you also have incendiary, the white phosphorus incendiary round. Is it white phosphorus? Just incendiary armor piercing. The thing is, when you unpack it, you lose the incendiary effects. But he was not going to get any good hits on the Steward anyways. Has quite a bit of armor. Damage it will do is negligible. We do also have a Sherman tank on the field. We could still potentially see a Pershing as well. And I sort of missed my mouse from drinking. Oops. Two flags here. I think he's getting hit by the concentrated barrage ability. He is getting hit by the concentrated barrage ability. Couple airbursts. Oh, one that gets decrewed. No problem. With the vision, he's able to get some pretty good hits, and both of them decrewed. And, I thought this really also sends in some airburst rounds. Guess not. Oh, multiple airburst rounds here. Oh, wait, that was a straight up Sexton that did that. Never mind, that was not the concentrated barrage. This is the concentrated barrage.
Tank ready.
So that was a pretty good Sexton barrage. Ooh, the Royal Engineers need to fall back. They need to ripped apart by the infrared SDGs.
Taking effective fire.
We're losing a capture point.
The Overwatson will get suppressed right there. We have the Sherman round, the load of high explosive rounds, HE. And so your grenade does come out, but it does retreat back nice and early.
One of our fighting
Do you see
positions
any medics
is
back at home?
sustaining
No, we do
fire.
not, just medical intersection. Again, we're for big roll of this here. We do have the decal here, and we do have a quick reconnaissance pass by the Major. Throws out a frag grenade, but he will dodge it to a degree. Bundle grenade is counter thrown, and no dodge here. Only gets one model. It's pretty good wounding. Rams push their way forward, does force back the Bolts Grenadier. We do have the Lieutenant here, and
Crowds are
looks more of the
sniffing
barrels
around our
exploding.
asses. Tactical point being captured.
Two Ultrason squads here. Throws out a frag, but that Ranger still could go down.
Provide support.
And those, in fact, gotta go down. That's a big loss. I just now noticed we do also have another doctoral locket of the ground forces, so we see some warriors. Suppression is coming on out. Frag grenade is thrown. Gets some good damage there. And throws out a fragile smoke.
Sherman, taking fire.
Ooh, forget about the turn pushing forward, but good HE round. Will decrew one of them, so he's far away from being actually killed. Grenadier squad being hit by the MG.
Ready.
Panzer IV is out. I hear a frag grenade. Nope. It was a frag, but it was a nice dodge by the Oberstlasser. 80 gun does hit the Panzer IV. The Panthers will rush forward. That Sherman tank is not in a great position. Will receive a hit there, but he will escape. Hopefully the UTF player has a lot of fuel, just no manpower. Goes out another frag, unsuccessful. The Panther gets a direct hit on one of the riflemen.
Combat unit ready for action.
Another Ranger has been built or called in. That may have been a bad idea. He's approaching enough fuel and command points for the Pershing, and that costs quite a bit of manpower to say the least.
Stick to that. Taking fire! On me! Listen up!
Sheer Panzer IV is hitting the lieutenant, and we got the mortar team now engaging the Sheer Panzer IV. That won't do all much. We have the Stuart here utilizing the shell shock for some odd reason, and you have the Valiant Assault being activated. That must have been some sort of mistake with the shell shock. Snare does connect with the Stuart, but it looks like he will escape no problem. Sexton here, Sexton engaging the Sheer Panzer IV, making some good hits. Panther now running on forward, couldn't finish the shot, but he blinded. Stuart does see another hit there. Frag grenade, bundle, overflanks the rifle, and does go entirely down. Artillery flare mortar columns on in and is concentrated barrage. Sexton here a little bit exposed. Sherman tank will get a good hit on the Oberstlasser. Mother grenade is thrown on out, does do next dodge, but will be Sexton will get some minor wounds there. The Heisman rounds are loaded and does get a pin there.
We're losing a capture point.
Multiple pens onto the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV needs withdrawal. Being spotted by the pyrotechnic squad. And he's looking at one round bounce, because that would have been a dead Panzer IV. Likes now engaging the Vickers. Gets a good hit there. Ooh, good hits. He's a fallback. There's no forward reinforcement. Sherman tank is now fully repaired, so should go ahead and re-garrison it. Stuart is still being repaired, however. Major established a forward retreat point, and so the Vickers actually is going to reinforce off of it. Both the lieutenant and the rear admiral have been upgraded to bazookas, leaving the, I guess, the Thompson Rangers to be the primary anti-infantry order. Ooh. That squad needs to fall back, and he gets wiped.
A unit of engineers have been killed.
That's a 6-foot iPhone kind of fraud.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
There.
Supply line's been cut.
Frag grenade thrown. He hasn't reacted properly in time. Does not get wiped. Smoke rounds come out from the Sherman tank. It looks like that was just before. Sherman tank, another Sherman tank here. So both there are two Shermans out. The lost lieutenant and the rear echelon. Ooh, and the Sherman tank can go down as well.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And there goes the Sherman tank.
Ammo, hold on, box!
This Sherman tank is now responding by his only load of high explosive rounds. He has a load of AP. That won't help much. You have a Captain McKenworth here, and the Ranger squad here is now pinned. He's a fallback. He's in prone of being using it as well. Mortar team does go down. Minor loss there, and the major
The enemy is overrunning
is
one of our
actually at
capture
risk.
points.
Looks like the rear echelon did not actually go down, but the rear echelon line has snared temporarily
Prepare yourself.
Panther. Smoke run is coming on in to cover the retreat of the Orin08. Rock Mizuki here, not sure by the rear echelon or by the
Evasive action.
and the rear echelon has two bazookas. Explosive rounds still will cut it for the Sherman. It is moving to the AP now. Another rifleman squad on the build queue. I would disagree with that. He's very close to getting the Pershing tank. I would say save him for the Pershing. He needs something heavy in order to gauge the Panthers.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Riflemen won't do that. Vigor sustaining huge amounts of fire from the line. And will go down to the line.
The gun is not crude.
6-pounder will get a good hit there. We could potentially see a close range Sexton barrage. You have now a Firefly out in the field, and you got the airborne assault, which means we do have loiter aircraft, but first it's ATV trace, the Ju-7's
Batteries reporting. Reconnaissance
AT
by
vehicle
flare now
loadout
available.
will come out a little later.
Armor
And the Sherman tank will be hit by him first, thanks to the 50 cal shooting at the aircraft.
A capture
The
point is
Ju-7s
under
will
attack.
target him first. Will salvage that Vickers gun, and here comes the Ju-7s. And the tank hunting him down, does get a good hit there, one shot away from death,
A capture point is being overrun.
and that was the death of the Sherman. Ranger's running forward, but he's not getting disintegrated by
We
the
just lost a
Orin08.
medium tank. That's your
Firefly
service.
is way back home, trying to stay outside the loiter. As infantry loaded, trying to hit these shots, not a good idea. The steward is still alive, so there's still but one last straight will come on in, will roll a miss, generally. Again, another shell shock. As far as I know, the shell shock does nothing to this infantry.
Sky half track is in action. Standing by for setting of
Getting
command.
some deadly hits there. Will not get another shot off. He will use line sight blocker. Try and go for a snare, but Darkman will distract him long enough.
Shift and lift! Shift and lift! Give him hell!
Both mechanic warfers are forced on back and will use the rear echelon to help repair the steward. And the magenta OKW player, I see a HQ truck here. I see over 200 fuel. He's definitely going for King Tiger, or at least getting one prepared for it. He doesn't. He's going to run into PopCap issues with his once he reinforces the Volksgrenadier. I believe the King Tiger has 23 population usage, so he needs to make sure this Volksgrenadier does not reinforce in order to get the King Tiger out, or lose it later. More likely the latter. Two sections are now out, trying to displace the Sheriff Panzer quarters. See, it's right now receiving quite a bit of fire.
Promotion? Us? Oh, we'll be pleased.
Ooh, that Volk squad almost went down. There is a show mine there. The Oakson squad will not last very long for all these. Panzer IV now rotating over. Storm Pioneer trying to repair the Sheriff Panzer quarters. It'll take quite some time before the next volley. Could upgrade the might sequence because of repair rate. No AT here, so the Panzer IV will just good work on protecting the Firefly. What? Following these units, so take quite a bit of time for it to actually support these units. Allow the Panzer IV to get some great damage. Now he's going to fall back with all these infantry squashes section. They're far too good to be any sort of effective fighting force. Vulture is here. Does get some multiple good hits onto the Panther. And the Stewart gets a good hit there, getting help for Volksgrenadier. Stewart is falling back, maybe not destroyed, can't use shell shock. And there goes Stewart, but the Panther's not going to blitz on the way. There is a Panther here. There's two Panthers here. Multiple planes onto the Pershing. Rolls a bounce there. Gets a... I think that was actually a miss. AoE technique got the 10. Multiple super hits does take out the ambulance there. The big actually kill. No more healing for these squads. He has still the rear echelon here, so he does have to carry some Pershing. You have the artillery flares being utilized on top of those sections, and those are the sheer pants quarters main back go down. Sticks and Boost trying to dive for a counter barrage. A direct hit from 10 will take out these sections, but unsuccessful.
One of our anti-tank guns is gone. Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
I don't really see a way for these allies to come back. They're fighting against multiple Panthers. Pershing is by itself versus two Panthers getting outdone. Two sections are nice, but and the UKF player has a pretty good arsenal. He actually does lack role engineers, which is actually a bit problematic. Ooh, good hit there. Mine there. Gamma bomb is thrown on out, but the Volksgrenadier will go ahead and do a retreat. H2 is down, so potentially push on forward. This was quite good. Could do a soft retreat in order to utilize its medical ability. Ooh, and the one section, both sections will go down. And that's going to be the end of the game. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.